The rock cycle! Okay, I am going to explain what the rock cycle is. Alright, so there are three different types of rocks. They are the igneous, sedimentary, and metamorphic. These rocks are super cool and they can do quite a few different things, and we're going to go into detail. First, I'm going to show you a picture of the rock cycle. This is just breaking it down, showing a lot of arrows that are kind of confusing, but it's okay because I'm going to explain them all. Starting with sedimentary rocks. Alright, sedimentary rocks are pictured in the top left. You can see what they kind of look like if you were to go somewhere and just like see a rock that looks like that in the top left, then that's a sedimentary rocks. So the bottom word looks kind of confusing. Lithification, all it means is it turns sediment into rock. Sediments are tiny little particles of rocks that combine together to form this rock. Sedimentary rocks can also contain fossils and help scientists and they've helped scientists reconstruct history as well, which is really cool because finding fossils like that, we can see how long that rock's been around. Alright, so here is a picture of what happens and how sediment particles turn into sedimentary rocks. So we have wind and water that can break rock into tiny pieces. The pieces build up together over time, and these fragments fuse together to form sedimentary rocks. So if you look at those little black balls on the bottom, they are sediments moving together to form that rock right there, that black rock. Alrighty, so now we are going to move back onto this picture and look. So if you look here at sedimentary, there's an arrow pointing to metamorphic. So the cool thing about rocks is that all three of these types of rocks can form into one or the other. So sedimentary rocks can form into metamorphic rocks through heat and pressure. And now we're going to take a look at those. So, metamorphic rocks. Basically, metamorphic rocks can form due to increased temperature and increased pressure. Temperature and pressure are the two factors that play a role in metamorphic rocks. And the higher the temperature and pressure, the higher the grade. So if you look in the red on the far right, that is the highest grade of metamorphic rock. Metamorphic rocks also have metamorphism, which that big scary word, all it means is recrystallization. And recrystallization is increased heat and increased pressure in chemically active fluids. So the rock is recrystallizing. Now, metamorphic rocks can turn into igneous rocks through melting. That word right there on the top right corner, metamorphic rocks can melt down into igneous rocks, which can be magma or just melting down. It has to be high heat to become igneous. So now we're going to take a look at igneous rocks. Alright, so igneous rocks through crystallization can be formed, and what crystallization means, it is the cooling process, and yes, basically it's just a cooling process of the rock. Size depends on length of time to grow. So the size of this rock depends on the length of time it has to grow. So basically, the deeper the rock, the more intrusive the rock is. Like, you see on this picture where the magma is, that will take a longer time to crystallize and cool because of the heat. But up on the surface, it won't take as long. So the stronger the rock, the rocks will be stronger higher up. Alright, so large crystals are cooled longer over a longer period of time. And the deeper you go into the earth, the slower it cools. Fine-grained is cooled rapidly because you cannot see the grains. So extrusive rocks are found on the surface. Granite is an igneous rock. You often find granite in your kitchen. So if you go look in your kitchen, you might have a granite countertop. which is cool because it's igneous rocks. This is another picture of the rock cycle. It is more intricate than the one that I drew. It kind of just goes into more depth and detail on the rock cycle and how just cool it is of a cycle. It's never ending, and rocks can constantly change into something different than what it was before through melting, crystallization, weathering, erosion, metamorphism, everything. Rocks are super cool. All right, the end.